Hi, hello, welcome to another raid build video where we'll be talking about the 7-star Rock Infernape. This is going to be maybe one of my quicker videos with less editing because I've just got back from 2 weeks of traveling, and I was planning on taking this week off, and then Infernape showed up, so I didn't want to leave you guys without raid builds. So let's go over Infernape real quick. Fire, fighting, stab, same type attack bonuses, plus the rock same type attack bonus, and the ability will probably 99% be Iron Fist, since all the starter Pokemon have had their hidden abilities. There are some moves that benefit from Iron Fist, but the gist of it is it increases all punching type moves up by 20%. So we have the Drain Punch, which does match the fighting, and then we have Fire Punch, which matches the fire, although I think Flamethrower would still be stronger here, and assuming it's not adamant. And then we also have the other move we should probably worry about here is Thunder Punch, because that does cover water-type Pokemon since Rock is weak to water. There are some other moves that it gets, like Mach Punch, which is somewhere on this list. Somewhere. There it is. It's not as strong as Drain Punch, so if we can survive Drain Punch, we can obviously survive Mach Punch. Does not get Ice Punch, so that's good for some of our Pokemon that we're about to pick. Infernape does have the same defense, and also it is a mixed attacker. It has 104 special attack and 104 physical attack. But because of Iron Fist and because of its move pool, I did calculate an adamant Infernape. And pretty much if we can survive all the adamant moves, we can survive any modest moves as well. To then focus on the rock type, same type attack bonus for the rock terrestrialization. We have Rock Tomb, Rock Slide, Stone Edge, and Smackdown. Stone Edge is the most threatening, but also not 100% accurate, so I did calculate Stone Edge. Again, if we can survive the strongest move of a type, such as Rock, then we can survive the other moves. So just by calculating Stone Edge, if our Pokemon can survive a Tera Stone Edge, we can definitely survive a Tera Rock Slide. So that's how I calculated these moves. I did calculate Raging Fury, although I don't know if we will see that move. But again, all these Pokemon can survive Raging Fury. If it has something like Fire Punch, even better, because Fire Punch is not nearly as strong as Raging Fury. Same thing for Close Combat. We can survive Close Combat. We can survive Mach Punch. We can survive Drain Punch. We can survive Aura Sphere. We can survive a lot. There's not a lot of like status type moves that like we haven't seen before from other Pokemon. It does get Calm Mind. It also gets Swords Dance, and then it also gets Nasty Plot. So it has multiple ways to increase either its attack or its special attack. Oh, it also gets Bulk Up as well. Sorry. There's really no way to prep for that unless you taunt, but of course, taunt is only good until the raid shield goes up, where it can then safely set up the Nasty Plot or the Calm Mind behind that. I could see this being a Pokemon that has Torment, which just means that you can't use the same move twice in a row. I could see that, but I'm not sure what else it would be doing that is unique on the status type thing, on the status type side. Like, it could Will-O-Wisp us, of course, it could, but I think just somehow boosting either its physical attack, physical defense, special attack, or special defense is kind of the really the only thing it can that it would do on the status side. And I don't think that would like change our builds anyways, because it's just a coin flip of is it going to go the special route, or is it going to go the physical route, or is it going to do both, which is not nearly as effective of just going one or the other. So we won't know that until the final move set comes out, but I did take that in consideration for the builds. I calculated Earthquake, I calculated Poison Jab, Acrobatics, Shadow Claw, Thunder Punch, Drain Punch, Close Combat, Zen Headbutt. It gets a lot of coverage. All these Pokemon took all the coverage into consideration. So that's kind of the gist of Infernape. This split attack and special attack doesn't really do it any favors. Being fire, fighting, and rock does have a lot of coverage and makes it really hard to just pick one Pokemon that can resist all three. I don't actually know if there's a Pokemon that can resist all three that has good enough stats that we could use. But I think the 5 Pokemon we have are really great. Let's start off with Appleton. Appleton is a grass dragon, and with the thick fat ability, we actually do not take super effective damage from fire. We resist that thunder punch. It doesn't know any ice type moves. The only poison type move that would maybe be threatening would be poison jab. But even that isn't that threatening. Acrobatics again, maybe the other move that could be slightly threatening, and then we don't have to worry about anything else. Now, the two moves that maybe it would have that would maybe be threatening, we can just get around that by setting a reflect. Appleton isn't going to change much from previous builds here. We're going to do 252 HP, 20 in defense, 236 in special attack, and our bread and butter is going to be Apple Acid. Apple Acid is going to lower Infernape's special defense by 1 stage every time we use it. It's also going to be super effective because Rock is weak against grass. And that's going to help all of our special attackers just do more damage. So like 2 Appletons on a team would just not only benefit each other, but benefit the other 2 special attackers standing next to it. Appleton also then gets access to Giga Drain for health recovery, and grassy terrain to boost your grass type attacks, which means Giga Drain will not only do 30% more damage, but it will also give you more health. You'll see other grass attackers on this list, even though Infernape is a fire Pokemon at its core, because of Reflect or because of moves like Chilling Water or Scald or Rain Dance. We can actually survive a lot of fire type moves. Appleton in particular has the thick fat ability and has the resistance, has the neutral resistance because Dragon cancels out the super effective of fire. But we also have Reflect, and if you are taking a little bit too much damage because your team is not supporting, you can put a move in like Iron Defense, and 1 Iron Defense will actually help you survive moves a lot better. But I think as long as you set that Reflect and then you alternate between Apple Acid and Giga Drain, you will stay healthy even if you're getting hit by fire type moves. I just wouldn't terrestrialize. I wouldn't terrestrialize to pure grass until you are set up with enough Apple Acids, probably about 2. So then every time you get hit by a fire type move, your Giga Drain gets you back to full health. Now remember, when you go pure grass, you will still have the thick fat ability, so it will still reduce fire type damage. So I think Appleton is a really safe bet. And then we're going to use Miracle Seed. That's going to boost your grass type moves by 20%. That means your Apple Acid will do more, but it also means your Giga Drain will do more. And because your Giga Drain will do more, you will get more health back. This makes it, in my opinion, a little bit better than like a Shell Bell, because you're going to be doing more super effective damage and therefore be getting more health back. Yeah, that's Appleton. We can then pair Appleton with its older brother, Hydrapple, which also has the Grass Dragon typing. It does not have thick fat, so it does take a little bit more damage than Appleton. But if we look at the stats, they're kind of the same. The HP is almost identical. The special defense is the same, but Hydrapple's defense goes up by 30 points, which is quite a lot in Pokemon. And you can see that Hydrapple has a higher special attack. Now, what makes Hydrapple different than Appleton is it does not get access to Apple Acid. That's a signature move. It does get access to Fickle Beam, which is Hydrapple's signature move, but we won't be using that since it's not super effective. Instead, we'll be using Breaking Swipe to lower Infernape's attack stat, which makes Hydrapple more survivable, also makes the team more survivable. This is something Appleton does not get. Giga Drain to get our health back and do that super effective damage, and then Nasty Plot. So while Appleton is lowering the special defense of Infernape, you will be increasing your special attack yourself. So Hydrapple will be able to outdamage pretty much everything with that combination sitting next to Appleton. And then also another Reflect setter, because we want Reflect to be up when we terrestrialize to pure grass. I would actually suggest the Light Clay here on Hydrapple, because I don't think we need a Shell Bell or the recovery item, because we have Giga Drain and because we're nasty plotting our Giga Drain. We're just going to get more health back and do more damage. because our special attack is so much higher than Appleton's. If somebody else is in charge of reflecting, you don't need to worry about it. You can Dragon Cheer. The small thing on Dragon Cheer is, in my experience, Dragon Cheer can force quit raids. I've only experienced this with Dragon Cheer, mostly on Archaladon. So maybe it's an Archaladon only issue, but I've talked to other people who use Dragon Cheer in raids and they get kicked out of raids. So I'm a little hesitant to recommend it because of that. But again, maybe it's just an Archaladon thing. But Dragon Cheer is great, especially if you have two Hydrapples that can Dragon Cheer each other, increase the chance of critical hit, which is always good. And then Grassy Terrain, just again, another way to boost your attack for 5 turns. If Infernape has Earthquake, it actually reduces the damage of Earthquake. Although if you have Earthquake user standing next to you, you wouldn't want a Grassy Terrain because that would reduce your teammates' Earthquakes. But I think Special Attack is the way to go, specifically because I think Appleton is so strong in this raid because of the Apple Acid and the Thick Fat ability. So I think that's why we're definitely leaning into special attackers. Did I say Light Clay to extend Reflect? But again, the Breaking Swipe to control Infernape's physical attack. If it does try to bulk up or if it does try to Swords Dance, we can control that with Breaking Swipe. So these two Pokemon, these two apples pair really well together. I have another set of Pokemon that pair really well together, starting with Toxapex. Toxapex would be weak to that Thunder Punch, but because Toxapex has such high defense and special defense, it survives it just fine. Toxapex also, if you're worried about survivability, if no one is setting Reflect for you, because Reflect would make this way, way better for Toxapex. If no one is setting Reflect for you, you can set your own Iron Defense. You probably only need to do it once, and then that will make sure that the Thunder Punch doesn't. I think without the Iron Defense, Thunder Punch is like a 4 or 5 hit KO, and then with an Iron Defense, it becomes like a 7 to 8 hit KO. Same with a Reflect. If a Reflect goes up, it's like a 7 hit KO. If Infernape does have Thunder Punch, and if it decides to spam it against Toxapex, the ability Limber will prevent you from getting paralyzed, which is really great. But even if there's no Iron Defense or no Reflect, Chilling Water will reduce the damage of Thunder Punch so much that it won't even matter. So just like Breaking Swipe, Chilling Water will reduce that physical attack. Acid Spray to then boost the damage of not only you, but Hydrapple, Appleton, the other Pokemon we have on the team. So that's really great. We do have Haze. We want to have at least one Hazer or one Clear Smogger in case, Infernape does go to a +6 physical attack, +6 physical defense, or something with its stats that we've seen with like Venusaur, Blastoise, or Mewtwo. So if we see that, that's why we might want to put Haze onto Toxapex. If Infernape is running a Rock Slide set, Wide Guard would protect your whole team. If like Rock Slide is programmed to be, a turn 2 move or a turn 6 move, you could block that whole move with Wide Guard. So just explaining what those do, probably won't need them, but that's what's in Toxapex's tool set, which is really great. We're going to do Zoom Lens on Toxapex. What Zoom Lens does is it increases your accuracy by 30% if you go second. Because Infernape is so much faster than Toxapex, you will always go second, which means the 85% accuracy of Muddy Water will go up to 100% accuracy. So Muddy Water pairs really well with Acid Spray. You'll be able to do a lot of damage with Muddy Water and reduce Infernape's accuracy, which just helps the entire team. The only downside to Toxapex would be there's no built-in recovery like Giga Drain, so you would have to use your Heal Cheers appropriately. But because Toxapex's defense is so high, you shouldn't have to worry about it that much, especially if you're opening up with 1 or 2 Chilling Waters before you switch to Acid Spray. Now, like I said, Toxapex pairs really well with this next Pokemon. But before we get to this next Pokemon, I'm just going to take a second, make sure to check if you're subscribed to this channel. I know a lot of people watch these raid builds, but maybe not everyone is subscribed. So if you could just check if you're subscribed, you want to comment, like, share the video with a friend, that would really help out because I do spend a lot of time on these raid builds. Maybe not this one because I was just traveling, but I have been working on this for 3 hours before I started posting it because I did run all the calculations for these EVs and IVs. Or EVs, I should say. IVs should just be 31. Anyways, Toxapex pairs really well with our next Pokemon, which is Walking Wake. Walking Wake will have the Shell Bell item, 252 HP, 60 defense, 169 special attack. Chilling Water, Scald, Snarl, Rain Dance would be its moveset. Holding the Shell Bell, if I did not say that. Chilling Water to control the physical attack. We've talked about that. Snarl, just in case that Infernape has one or two special type moves that might be annoying. Snarl is there for purely that reason. If there are no special type moves, if there is no Calm Mind, we can just ignore Snarl altogether. You could switch that out for like a Mud Shot to lower the speed or a Noble Roar. But if you're switching out Snarl from Noble Roar, you might as well just spam Chilling Water because that's way better. But Walking Wake has kind of a limited move pool in this situation. Scald is kind of the main reason Walking Wake. Obviously, Walking Wake has that natural resistance because it has the dragon built in. So it's not actually weak to Thunder Punch like Toxapex is. But if we do suspect Infernape to be 90% a physical attacker, we want to then burn it in order for it to do less damage to the entire team. Scald is a very good attack. Like it does decent damage. It maybe doesn't do as much as Hydro Pump, but with the 100% accuracy and the chance to burn, it makes Walking Wake really good here. Walking Wake has no way to increase its special attack. So that's why we have Rain Dance. Rain Dance will increase Scald's damage by 50%, and that's why I said it pairs really well with Toxapex, because it will then increases Toxapex's Muddy Water. So Walking Wake can increase Toxapex Muddy Water by Rain Dancing, and then Toxapex can increase Walking Wake's damage by using Acid Spray. So those two benefit each other really well. On top of that, the Rain Dance is really good here for Appleton and Hydrapple, since Infernape might want to use Fire-type moves once you Terastallize. The Rain Dance will reduce those Fire-type moves altogether. You can also teach Rain Dance to Toxapex, for the record, by the way, if you don't need the other moves there, but I think that's like a great pairing. I would not Terastallize Walking Wake to pure Water type or Toxapex to pure Water type unless you have at least one or two Chilling Waters under your belt, right? Like you don't want Infernape to be a +2 Swords Dance Thunder Punch when you Terastallize. You would want to Terastallize when Infernape's like a -2 attack because you both use Chilling Water one or two times, or Infernape is burned because of Scald, and also helpful if there's a Reflect Up. So just being aware of what your team is doing is very helpful here. But unlike other YouTubers who might do raid builds, most of those YouTubers are focused on a solo play style of this is what you would do, assuming you have 3 computers next to you. I'm always building for this is what you would do when you're playing with a group, not only because I do group play, but also to teach how these Pokemon can work together and to synergize and how you can get the raid done faster and more efficient when people are playing as a team rather than just focusing on themselves, and then they take those solo builds online and they don't work with the Pokemon standing next to them, and then the frustration still continues to happen because no one's hitting Reflect, no one's hitting Chilling Water, no one's using Grassy Terrain to boost everyone's Grass-type moves, right? So I think Appleton and Hydrapple work really well together. I think Walking Wake and Toxapex work really well together. But I also think all 4 work really well together. So that was kind of my goal, making these 4 Pokemon. Yeah, the one downside of Walking Wake is it just doesn't have a way to boost its special attack. So that's why the Acid Sprays and the Apple Acids and the Rain Dances there. Our final Pokemon is actually going to be Uxie, which is a weird Pokemon, but hear me out because it has kind of a cool moveset. So first off, Uxie is really defensive, even though it only resists fighting in this situation, and it wouldn't be hit by Earthquake if it did have Earthquake. It has a really high defense and a really high special defense. But Uxie, out of all the Pokemon that there's a lot of grass type Pokemon that can learn Giga Drain, but there are very few non-grass type Pokemon that learn Giga Drain. So Uxie actually gets access to Giga Drain. So this pairs really well with Acid Spray or Apple Acid because the special defense on Infernape would get lowered, and then your Giga Drain will do more damage. Will do super effective damage. On top of that, Uxie gets access to Nasty Plot, so you'll be able to pair the Nasty Plot and the Giga Drain. But Uxie has a move called Mystical Power. And Mystical Power is a Psychic type move that will... I guess it's a signature move because all 3 Lake Spirits get it. But every time you use Mystical Power, it will do 70 damage, and then it'll increase your special attack by 1 stage. So this is really great because unlike Nasty Plot, if you were to Nasty Plot 3 times, you would still have to attack 3 more times, so you'd be able to Terastallize by turn 7. If you use a move like Mystical Power, since it's actually an attack, you would Mystical Power 3 times, and now you can Terastallize by turn 4. And once you Terastallize, you're doing more damage, you're breaking through the Raid Shield, because you're doing more damage with Giga Drain, you're getting more health back. So being able to Terastallize faster in raids is almost always beneficial. So we're going to take advantage of Mystical Power. We can use the held item Wide Lens to make sure our Mystical Power is 99% accurate instead of 90% accurate. But you can always change the held item to your best playstyle. 252 HP, 16 defense, and then 240 special attack. We'll actually do Bold Nature just to take advantage of the free stat increase with Bold on the defense, and just we just hit a jump point with the 16 defense points there. So that's kind of why I went with the EVs. Reflect, because if we do go Grass type Tera to take advantage of super effective Tera Giga Drain, we want to Reflect up. So when Infernape switches to Fire type moves, we take less damage. But because we'll be doing so much damage with Nasty Plot, Mystical Power, Giga Drain, we'll just get all our health back every time. You can also run Mud Slap in case you want to reduce the accuracy if you don't need the Reflect because somebody else is reflecting instead. And if we're worried about getting burned, which all our Pokemon are special attackers, so that's not that big of a deal. But if we're worried about getting paralyzed because of Thunder Punch or something, we can run Safeguard, and Safeguard will protect the team for 5 turns from burn, paralysis. I don't think it... Well, I guess Infernape can poison us with Poison Jab, I suppose. So yeah, it would work there. I don't think you can put us to sleep, but Safeguard would protect against burn, paralysis, poison. So Uxie has a couple cool moves, but I think it's cool that we can take advantage of Giga Drain on a Psychic Pokemon with just really, really high defenses. There were a couple other Pokemon I was looking at, like Palossand, but it doesn't do anything super, super special that none of these Pokemon really do. It has no way of increasing its special attack. Although it does have a way to burn with Scorching Sands, which is kind of nice, but Walking Wake is already doing that. And yeah, I think there's a couple body pressers that could probably work. If you went the body pressing route, you could probably get away with like Carbink with body press. That's a very easy and cheap body presser to build. Komo-O actually works really well here for either body press or even just like Drain Punch. But those 2 Pokemon don't work with the Acid Spray Apple Acid that we're relying on to accelerate damage. So just some ideals to throw out there. If you need help with these raids, I will be streaming them on Thursday evening when the raids go up. Otherwise, you can always join our Discord, and our Discord will help you get it done as well. But I should be streaming Thursday, Friday on Twitch, and then again when the raid repeats the following week with when the Blissey raids also appear. So thank you for watching. Sorry this video was maybe a little bit shorter than other videos, or not. I don't know. I ramble a lot, but I will see you guys next time.